Good morning, everyone. Dr. Victoria Scorbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. Today is the lost my day here. Today's the 23rd of January. It's Saturday here in the States, and we are going to take a look at the major aspect that is, there's actually two major aspects occurring today. This is also for the 24th of January and Sunday in Australia. We have the moon starting the day in Taurus, moving into Gemini at 2:44 a.m. on the east coast of the US. So for all intents and purposes, the moon's in Gemini. The Gemini moon puts us in the mood to communicate. It is about gathering the facts, gathering the information. I was struck today, or actually yesterday. I was watching the press secretary for Biden answering questions. I was overcome with the idea that somebody was there actually answering questions. It was just like, what? And then Fauci came on and he talked science. I'm a scientist, among other things. It was just like, oh, okay, there's the information that we needed. So it was things that you wouldn't expect to make you emotional. These days made you quite emotional. There was a square between Mars and Jupiter, first quarter, crisis in action square, the third of three. Three is a charm, right? We actually are starting to move forward in a forward direction, feeling like we're going to finally get something done. Of course, Mars is in Taurus, slow and steady as she goes, although Mars just came off a conjunction with Uranus. So it's slow and steady, but on a whole different level, And of course, Jupiter is in Aquarius, excuse me, which is the sign of humanitarianism and the sign of working for the common good. So there's a lot of energy for that. Thank goodness. The aspect that I want to talk to you about is right here in front of me now. This is the Sun Saturn Conjunction. It occurs relatively late, 10:02 p.m. on the east coast of the U.S. For places like England and such, this is going to happen on Sunday, but here in the States, it's happening today. I want to go over this because it's important. The sun makes a conjunction to every other planet in the chart once a year. And then it takes that whole yearly cycle to manifest. The only one that doesn't manifest in that way is, Mars takes 2 years. Everything with Mars takes 2 years. The sun with all the outer planets, it takes a year for the synodic cycle to go from conjunction to conjunction. So we have conjunction, we have square, we have opposition, we have square, and we have conjunction again. Those are the most active aspects because they're the most stressful when we're looking at a synodic cycle. So those are the ones we notice. There are other ones that happen where there's flow and there's opportunity. And if we're aware of the energies at the time, we go with them. But when we have squares and oppositions and conjunctions, there's usually, especially squares, there's usually some sort of crisis that we have to work with. The conjunction is the time that we start the beginnings. I believe that Venus and the sun also have a year-long cycle, but not necessarily Mercury. I'm not sure. I have to check that. But anyway, that's beside the point. The point is that today we plant a seed, and the seed being planted is the seed at 5 degrees of Aquarius. And if we look here, this is a chart for the United States of America, for Washington, D.C. So this is sort of how it vibes out for us. if we were to make this a natural chart, we would see all of this Aquarius energy here in the 11th house. And so we could look at a chart that way because of the significant occurrences that are happening at this time in the US. I decided to look at the US chart or look how it falls in Washington, D.C., how the mundane chart falls in Washington, D.C. So Saturn is the structure of our consciousness. Saturn is the structure, just the structures in our lives. In the human body, it rules the skeletal system, and it also rules the skin, which is the boundary between the inside and the outside. So we're dealing with structure and we're dealing with boundaries. What are the limitations of whatever it is that is being born at this time? What is the structure of it, of what's being born at this time? And we have this conjunction in Aquarius in the 5th house in the chart for the United States, for Washington, D.C., which is the chart for the United States of America. The 5th house is children. The 5th house is creativity. The fifth house is actually, I believe the 5th house is the stock market. Aquarius in its nature is scientific, so we can see that we are basing our reality now on science. I'm getting emotional again. And we also have to look at Aquarius. We also have to look at the ruling planet of Aquarius, right, when we're looking at this. And so the ruling planet of Aquarius is Uranus. Of course, we have this Uranus-Mars conjunction here in the 8th house of this country. This says to me that with Saturn here and this here, that there is more challenges to come when it comes to that sort of revolutionary energy. There's going to be challenges that come through Mother Nature herself when it comes to structuring our reality on science, right? It is square to this. It's a first quarter for the Sun and Saturn. Mars is in a first quarter square to this. And so there is a crisis in action. So there is a need to act. And so we're finding ourselves acting pretty powerfully all at once. And in the 8th house is our shared debt. So this is going to cost us some money, but it's like, you know, I've been in business my whole career, really. You know, you do your own thing. And when it comes to business, although I can't say that I'm an expert business person, I'm a much better healer than I've ever been a business person. But I do know in order to make money, you have to spend money. That I know. So I see that theme in this chart as well. I want to look at the Sabian symbol for this. I'm not gonna switch over to it. I will just read it to you as soon as I can find a thing here. Okay, so the Sabian symbol for this degree, and I find that the Sabian symbols have been quite accurate when it comes to the things that are being brought up within them. So let's take a look at Aquarius. And of course, I have to recheck because what degree is that? Is that 5 degrees? Did I say 5 degrees? Hold on, let me look. Yeah, 420. Oh, goodness gracious, it's at 420. 420 of Aquarius. Sounds like a good idea to me. All right, anyway, sorry, I digress. All right, let's see what it says here. 5 degrees. See, now I remember it's 5 because I thought of 420. Okay, 5 degrees of Aquarius. A council of ancestors is seen implementing the efforts of a young leader. The root foundation of past performances, which power and sustain whatever decision is made in a crisis by an individual. let's see. It suggests that in many situations, reliance upon precedents will enable the aspirant to greatness to tap into the power of their deepest roots. You know, it's interesting that we would see this particular um, symbol because it speaks of the ancestors helping the young leader. And of course, we have just elected the oldest president we've ever elected. Um, but he does have a lot of experience. He has been around the block many, many times, and he has learned a few things. So, so it is an interesting symbol, and in many ways, I think Joe Biden seems almost, or at least as he looks at us and speaks to us, uh, maybe may seem somewhat naive in his faith in humanity. Um, and so maybe that's the youth that's coming out. But I think faith in humanity is a good place to go, because if humanity is nurtured and humanity is informed and humanity is allowed to breathe, um, which of course, at least for me, I felt after the inauguration that I finally took, waiting to exhale kind of thing. Just a breath, and it was a lovely breath. And we have many breaths coming, and it's going to be, a real journey for us. We are in really on a whole new level of awakening, to in large part, not completely, um, but in large part to the catalytic energy of the 45th president. So we're in our 46th president. 46-1 is a new beginning. It's an important number for us. 46-1 in the Kabbalah is a vibration located in Tiphereth, the Sephiroth of beauty, the center of the tree, connected to our heart. And so we need to sort of move into this time with that energy, heart centered, with care and concern for the future, for our children, for our families, for the bedrock of this country, which is really a love of uh, community and being a responsible citizen. That's what's going to get us forward. And there are a lot of responsible citizens out there. There have been a lot of irresponsible leaders. So becoming an authority in your own life, putting on your big girl and your big boy pants and moving forward, with love in your heart, is actually the best way to move forward. And this uh, Saturn Sun cycle is going to, while give us an idea of the limitations that we face, um, also the power that we have within those limitations to make some really big changes. So have yourself a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow. I think we'll be out in the garden again. Although, it's the same garden, a lot of sticks out there. Okay, guys, much love. Take care, and see you tomorrow. I'm just trying to figure out how to get off of this now, which is ridiculous because I should know this. Okay, I found it. Take care, guys.